you have the lighting right, because you somehow get the lighting very right in your
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just look at
the
it.
clips that you have. I don't know how you do it, but your lighting's completely right, innit?
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Because some mine look cool, but yours look. The lighting's just
It's
perfect.
distinctive,
It's very
innit?
distinctive.
Yeah,
It's like glowing. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
Let's do what Clive's doing, bro.
Yeah, yeah, man. I know what catches the eye, I guess.
That's good, man. It's good to be able to
have
that, man.
I just think we just dive straight in, man.
Yeah.
Literally, I've just been thinking, innit, like, and it's like, the topic of love, something I ponder on a lot. Do you think love is something we, like, you know how do you just fall in love and do you just find yourself in love, or is it something you consciously seek for?
Okay, so it's a good question.
Do you know what I mean?
I'll put it like this. I feel like, let's talk about like love in the sense of like our mothers and fathers, for example. When we were first born, I'm assuming wasn't love at first sight we see our mothers. As they've nurtured us and they've cared for us, that's when we've kind of been like, all right, I love this woman, innit? That's what love is, innit? I don't think love's a thing of like love at first sight. You don't just fall in love with a woman after you look at her. Like, you might fall in love with her looks, but her as like as deep as a connection with your mother, like that type of love, I don't think it can be the same. I don't think it's just a thing. I don't think it's
abundant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's what you call, what's it? What's the word?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Yes,
Unconditional love. Okay, I'm interested.
And it's different for men as well, I think, because a lot of people do say that men tend to, for example, you see how I said my mother, I didn't even say my father. Yeah. People tend to say that fathers have to kind of bring or give something, or men have to give something in order to be love. Because the only unconditional love you're going to get is from your mother.
Yeah.
A woman is never going to give
you that. From a woman, of course, isn't
exactly,
it? That's their realm.
That's their realm, man.
That's their realm, for real. I hear that. So obviously, love is practiced in different ways then, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's the motherly nurturing sense, and then there's the sexual sense.
Yeah, the relationship sense, yeah.
And so then how do we navigate, like, in the sexual sense, like our partners? How does that, like, when we're seeking for our partners, is it something we actively have to, like, I'm looking for love, or is it like, just if I find love? Because I think there's a clash going on where we have a fair share of people that are, you know, just kind of waiting to fall in love. If they find themselves in love, then they're not necessarily pressed or seeking for that narrative. But then there's a fair share where they are actively looking for love, and there's like both totally acceptable. But which one's
what's the right one?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, which one's the right way to approach love as a whole?
I don't think there is a right way, you know.
Yeah.
I think you just got to kind of do what works for you. Everyone's different, innit?
Yeah.
I think, like, dating to just, I feel like you have to kind of date to marry, in a sense. Not even, I don't know, because I feel like in the, like, let's say, the 1960s, I feel like people used to get married a lot younger, right?
Yeah.
You know, like,
it was way more common.
It was very more common to get married at like 18 or something, like, because they were in the army or whatever. So like, life was making it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like where life's kind of slowed down in that sense, it's like we have a lot more time, or we think we have a lot more time to kind of do these things and
a bit more freedom, innit? You've got a bit more freedom
in a certain way. But
and because we've got more freedom, it's hard to, like, every individual, for you to, like, deep dive into that individual, you got to go through a whole journey that people, again, the willingness to delve into that journey is a whole thing in itself. That's a way. Because you're mingling with people that aren't necessarily, you know, healed, or they're not complete or whole within themselves. People with flaws within themselves, all these little micro things you got to face, all 100%. These obstacles you got to face whilst doing this.
Yeah, because hurt people. Like we said earlier, like if you go with a person that has been broken in the past, they're gonna end up breaking you, or you might break someone else. So it's like you need to be like thick-skinned to date nowadays, I think, because you never know how it's gonna end or how it's gonna come out in it. In terms of, because someone could be at face value, someone could seem like they're so put together. When you get to know them, and then the most toxic thing you ever met in your life, you're like, it can be very dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
It can be very dangerous, man.
And then my thing is like, cool. And then again, because for those that are thinking, that are just like, I'm just fine. If I find myself in love, you know, that aspect of just waiting, it will come to you. Is that us also then agreeing to the fact that, like, say, what was I saying? So, as if we're waiting for the right time, but one thing I always preach is that there is no right time.
Yeah.
So am I not naive, but I'm just seeing like contradictions in the way of my thinking there. Like, why would I? Because there's no right time, and if I'm correct as well, everyone that's in a relationship, I'm pretty sure like it's not 100%. Like it's always a working process, isn't it?
Of course.
Then the question of compromising comes in. Like the willingness to compromise from each individual seems to determine whether or not
how it's gonna work.
Yeah,
in a sense.
do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, I think like you were saying about the timings.
Yeah,
like we always think we've got time until we think about time, and then we're like, we don't have time.
Yeah.
Like, in our sense, we're like, we're still young, and then we deep it. Nah, maybe I'm not that young. You know what I mean? So in a sense of like finding that right person, it's like cool. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to chase this, but at one point you're gonna have to. So why not do it now? You know what I mean? We're not gonna lie. Like time's we're gonna want to get married one day, and the time is ticking. It's not gonna start off for anyone. But I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
In this generation, it's very different now, isn't it?
It's tough to tell, isn't it?
It is tough.
It's tough to tell. Marriage. Do you think then the person you're destined to be for the rest of your life, at this stage in your life, this timeline in your life, have you met, do you think out of all the people you've met, they could be your wife? Or is it that
that's a great question.
Is it that you've not met your wife yet, and that in your future timeline?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
that's
like
a great question.
which reality is your future wife in right now? Where's she existing in?
You know what? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I feel like in my lifetime, I've probably come across a girl or two.
Yeah.
That I think, all right, you could work, but
the
certain things have happened in that situation. What do you think? What about you?
It's like I can understand people are in people's lives
for a reason,
for lessons. Yeah, exactly. There's a lesson in everyone you interact with. I don't know. I think because I'm thinking in the sense that the stage of life right now, I've just, the age of university and stuff like that. Some may argue that that's the peak number in terms of social interaction. After that you're in the either 9 to 5 or you're working, you're in more confined environments. So likelihood to meet new faces could be limited, I think, at least.
Okay.
So unless you're actively, there's little things you can do to change that, obviously, by going to certain places and being present in certain places. But the general consensus, I think, is that your the highest amount of social interaction you have will be in your educational years. Yeah. So
I completely agree.
You get it? So like now we're here and it's like, oh, have you found your wife?
See, yeah. I like that you said that, right? Because that just made me think, like, you know how you said about social interaction. Do you feel like I don't know about you, but do you ever get overwhelmed that your social battery kind of runs out? You've spoke to so many people that you don't really want to kind of converse with too many people. I don't know if you feel like that sometimes.
Yeah, definitely drained. Yeah,
I feel like that might play as a factor in terms of why people are how we are. Because like there's times where like maybe a girl's giving me a lot of energy, but I'm drained now. I don't want to chat to no one, innit? So I don't give her the energy she's giving it to me, if that makes sense, innit? So I don't know. I feel like in the educational years, it's cool, but with social media, bro, it's so you're chatting to the whole world, bro.
Easy,
so it's like
everyone's in touch.
I feel like we live in a very overwhelming, oversaturated generation now.
It's quite tough to stay. Like you struggle to actually stay still and find like what's my
because you might think something's better out there. You know what I mean? It's always a case of that.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man.
I get that. I do get that.
It's very tough out here, man. But are you looking to get married one day?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. I hope to.
Yeah,
I hope to. You know, I've before I wasn't really, like I was kind of thinking like, right, man, the way life is looking, I might just be too broken to even have
I hear it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just too individualistic. I might find myself pushing certain things away. The same way I'm open to allowing things to come to me as well. So it's like I'm not really putting pressure on anything to play out, really. So in doing that, and I find myself married, then happy days. Yeah,
happy days, man. You never know, innit? Like someone might come across a nice girl one day, and you're like, alright, cool. Apparently, if you know, you know. I heard that a lot, innit? I went to a wedding yesterday, and then apparently that's like if you know, you know. But
do you believe, like, they say, as a guy, you meet a woman and you want them.
Yeah.
Do you believe that? I don't.
If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it's gonna sound very. You put your man. We understand what I'm saying. So I feel like if I've been with a girl, and then say I've slept with her, the PNC, the post nut clarity, that will determine to me
whether or not
I'm taking this girl seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I get that.
As bad as it sounds like, it's like,
yeah.
I'll be chatting to her and then we'll call and then we'll maybe sleep with each other.
Yeah.
And then after that post nut clarity, whether I want to either tell you an excuse and get out of it, or if I don't mind chilling for a little bit longer, that will kind of determine how much I like this girl.
Yeah.
That's a biological thing, innit? There's not much I can do about it.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just, it's a whole new person that you are inviting to coexist with in life.
Yes. So you got to have
I'm not going to know within the first interaction whether you're for me or not.
That's
That's
impossible.
It's
impossible. You never know. You can't, because you might not like the way they fucking breathe. If they like, you never know. Like if you know things like that, like they breathe bare loud. Like you never know. So
that's what I'm saying. I can understand where it comes from though. Like, because you probably have though as well. Like there's been times you've crossed girls and you're just like, oh rah. There's something about you. Yeah. There's something about you.
100%.
I think that's what they're alluding to.
Yeah.
There's something about you, but I don't know. To the point where it's like, raw, like you're mine for the rest of my life. Something could change next month, yet alone the next day, and my mind can change. Like we actually change, like as individuals. And this is what the thing about relationships. I think you're two individuals, and as individuals, we're never still. Yeah. As an individual, you're always growing. You're always something's changing.
Yeah.
Anything can influence your mindset. Yeah. Anything you go through.
Especially in this day and age, like you can look on your phone like that, you immediately.
You get something in your day, anything, everything. We're susceptible to change. So you're two individuals in this one ship is like, again, the willingness to then digress certain things again amongst each other. Then you have to be on the same wavelength that you want to be. I think definitely. But then to establish that will take years. That's years. That's months of work. That's not going to be something that you will know.
We live in a fast food generation, man, where everything has to happen quick and soon, and fast money, fast life, fast. You know what I mean? Like everything's got to happen because everyone's not got patience, which I completely understand. But
I can understand. Yeah, time is finite. Time is finite.
Very finite, man. But I think we spoke about this before in terms of like relationships. Like I feel like whenever I've had a girlfriend or something, I've felt like I've attracted more girls.
Yeah,
and like. I think you said like same as well. I feel like it's a very weird concept where people that are in relationships tend to like attract more people. Like you might go to like a club and you're chatting to a girl. Oh, she's gonna say to you, "I've got a boyfriend."
Yeah.
Most guys, not me saying myself, but like most guys, will be like, "Oh, your boyfriend's not here." Like you're gonna want to try
and still
if you see another like single girl that's just about and you're chatting to her, you might get bored of her. Guys like the chase sometimes, isn't it?
True, yeah.
Which is a bit, and so the girls, isn't it? So
yeah.
I just can't put my head around how or why that happens, bro.
Yeah, the idea that you like, you know, trying to have something that you can't have. That idea is like a huge key. It's a huge catalyst, definitely. I'm thinking
it has to be a biological thing because everyone goes through this. Like, I just don't get why it's the case. Like,
I think, well, if you think about it, I think our thoughts project our reality. So the thought of, okay, I have a missus. I feel like life is just saying, yeah, you got a missus. Right. Show us how. Show us then. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know, innit? Yeah. Do you get it? And then vice versa. If you're not in a relationship and you're single or you want to be single, then I don't know, how does that look actually? What is the vice versa of that?
I think it's a thing of you're not in a relationship, but you want to be in a relationship. So you see like a structured, organised female that's with another that you can't have, and that you can have or whatever, and you're thinking, all right, but I want that. I want to be in his shoes right now, innit? You know what I mean? So yeah, man. I don't know.
Both. There's always two sides to it.
There is, isn't it? But it always tends to happen. It's always the case of people relationships. That's why people cheat so much nowadays, man. Yeah, because they can't handle it. It's overwhelming. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, man. So